How's it going, guys? Today is March 16th, 2:56 p.m. Trying to get a quick vlog done before I head into work here in a little bit. I'm gonna try to be there by 4. But just trying to figure out what vlog to do today. And sometimes I check trending topics on Twitter and YouTube to kind of. Those are my two biggest social media platforms that I use. But checking topics, and I saw this hashtag on Twitter called free advice in 5 words. So I created my own 5 words of free advice, and I'm kind of going to roll with it. So the 5 words I have are let a mentor help you. And so, in order to let a mentor help you, first I want to explain a little bit what mentors do. They kind of help guide you through certain things, certain paths in life. That's what I've gotten from some of my mentors, and they tend to leave um, almost like a trace of the little things that they did and tools that they used in order to gain success in their life. So everybody who's successful has left a trail behind, whether you realize it or not. And if you reach out to a mentor, whether it's me or some other mentor that you have in mind, I would say go after one in your specific field that you're interested in becoming, and let that mentor help you. First, you have to find the mentor, like I said, and let that mentor help you get to where you need to go. A lot of mentors do leave, like I said, these what I would call blueprints to their success. Everybody started somewhere, even successful people, unless they were born into it. But even then, they have to do certain things to um, maintain that level of success, and be continue to be successful and live on through the legacy that was created for them, or create a legacy for themselves. So that's one of the models that I run this mentoring thing off of is follow your dreams, build a path, and leave a legacy. And part of all of that is finding a mentor that best goes hand in hand with you. And you're going to find a lot of different mentors for a lot of different things that you're going to experience, that you're going to go through. But if you have a mentor there to guide you through the tough times, or through the times where you don't know what to expect, it just makes life and going through that experience so much simpler if you have somebody who's already been through the experience. Could you imagine what would you give to know? Let's say you wanted to be a, I don't know, a pilot, and you had a pilot mentor, so somebody who's does exactly what you want to do. What would you give to be able to sit down and talk with them and know the ins and outs of what they did in order to get to where they're at? We're all given these general guidelines in life, like go to elementary school, go to middle school, go to high school, graduate with your diploma. Now it's become new normal to go to college, where it wasn't like that several years ago, where college was, only for the highly educated and the upper class. Now it seems like everybody's going to college, and before, if you used to have an associate's, it meant something. Now it's almost equivalent of a high school diploma. But you get these loose guidelines like go to college, and then when you go to college and you graduate, sometimes you don't know, unless you have a really specific field, exactly what you're going to do with that degree. But imagine if you had a mentor in the field that you wanted to go into, or you had a person of interest where you were like, man, I just want to be like that guy or girl. And a majority of the time, you just have to reach out to these people and ask them to mentor you. And a majority of the time, their reply is going to be yes, because everybody loves helping other people, whether you realize it or not. And having these mentors help you to be able to, build your path and follow your dreams in order so you can leave your legacy behind is essentially, it makes it easy. I wouldn't call it a shortcut, because you still have to do the work that they did. But if you know the steps that you have to take, it's just a matter of taking those steps rather than trying to figure out the steps you have to take. Now you know the steps you have to take, and you can just get there by following and listening to your mentor. So I have a passion for mentoring people and kind of guiding them through life's instances, life's experiences on a more general platform. But there's some people who can mentor you into specific agendas, specific jobs, specific fields that you should absolutely take advantage of. There's so many programs out there. There's so many people that would give up their time, and even if they're not a part of a program and you just have your eye set on this one person that you have got it dead set on, that this is exactly what you want to be like, or even if it comes to the acting field, even some of those people, they may seem hard to reach, but everybody started somewhere. And if you can pick up their uh, pick up their stories or reach out to them so you can figure out the path you need to take. And some of these people, believe it or not, they write these books about their lives. Sam Walton, I believe his name is, the owner of Walmart, has written a book that's very cheap to buy, but a lot of people haven't read it. And it has to do with uh, a lot of his story and how he came and decided to be, decided to use the steps he took in order to become successful. So there's a lot of good information in there, but a lot of people decide not to follow these things or not to go after a mentor. These mentors exist on so many different levels, and if you have a mentor like that to follow you, it really does make your life a lot easier. For me, I've had a couple different mentors, not in the motivational speaking or the mentor speaking arena. That's more kind of been a passion of my own, and I didn't want to be so much influenced by other people. I just wanted to do what came natural and what felt natural to me. But I did watch professionals. I did get some ideas from professionals and some of their attitudes and some of their thoughts in order to have that resonate with me. And when I listen to other mentor or motivational speakers, it really hits me on an emotional level, and that's where I felt the connection that I thought that this is what I wanted to do, and that this would be a good platform for me to get my information out there. I was, like I said, when I first started these vlogs, it was on a whim on a Thursday, not of any significance to me other than starting my vlog that day, and I had given up on coming up with excuses as to why to stop starting and just get it going. And it has created itself into something huge for me. I'm proud of every video I put together, and this is my 50th video, so I would consider it an anniversary of sorts. My 50th day of shooting vlogs, and it's a huge milestone for me. I'm sure there'll be many more milestones to come, but to think that it just started with an idea, and the mentors who I had that don't really realize that they were mentoring me, because I would just watch videos as you guys watch videos or hear them and pick up on certain keynotes that I would find interesting and points to take away from there in order to build my own platform, brand myself into my own way to do the mentoring in a way that I would find beneficial for my audience, and try to find my own niche in this field, though it seems to be becoming more and more popular. But I believe if you have the passion and the drive to do something, that there shouldn't be too much to come in between that passion and drive. Sometimes you come up with excuses along the way, but everybody has excuses. And once you stop using them, you run out of excuses, you'll end up taking action. And if you cut the excuses out earlier, you start taking action earlier, which will lead to earlier results. So the formula is pretty simple. And a lot of these successful people, the mentors that I've talked to and that I've had along the way, I noticed that they just, they're persistent in their efforts, and they have rituals. There's a lot of other things that go along with it, but knowing that I had different people that I would rely on and mentors that I've had along the way in the military to guide me to be a middle level management within the military, really kind of set me in stride for what was to come, and use that experience to help guide other people. Now I'm trying to use mentor people into joining the military. Not that I'm advocating for or against them, but I give them my experience on it and what I thought of it, regardless of the branch that they're deciding to join. Like I recently encountered a uh, person who was going to be joining the Marines in one of my university classes. He's going to a an officer candidate for the Marines, and I told him I had the pleasure of deploying with Marines while I was in Iraq and doing some fun stuff with them. So uh, I definitely I have some good experience with that, and I always leave it up to the individual to encourage or reinforce the conversation and leave it open for communication. So if the person wants to talk more, then I'll be there to talk more. And sometimes I'll hand out cards with my information on it so they can reach out to me. And I can mentor them when it comes to joining the military, because that could be a very daunting experience for the people who don't have that experience. But you don't have to take that leap of faith alone. There's people who have done what you want to do, and unless you're going after a truly specific and unique thing that hasn't been done before, even then you can find certain people who have that mentality, so you can see their mind frame and their mindset as they were getting prepared to take on a new challenge that's never been accomplished or never even been tackled before. So there's many different variations that go along with mentors, and I can't say how much of a blueprint they leave behind for success. And all you have to do sometimes is just reach out to these people, and they'll take you under their wings because they like helping other people, and eventually somebody has to replace them. Nobody's around forever, so why not leave a legacy that others can follow and build upon? And you guys can grow and work together. Trust me when I tell you that mentors, they love helping other people, and they got no problem taking time out of their day in order to help sustain the things that they've accomplished. So think about that as you go through your day today, or as you watch this video, and try to figure out which mentors that you would like to have, and see if you have the courage to reach out to them. I remember that I reached out to as I knew I was getting out of the military. I always had a dream of working with Rob Dyrdek, and I remember I sent him an email. And God knows I never heard back from him or his management team, but I had the courage to send that man an email that regardless of the reply, whether I knew or not, I thought it would be a great idea to work with him. He was a person that I would have loved to mentor me, just because of the entrepreneurial spirit he had, his accomplishments at such a young age, and continues to accomplish and build upon something that he consistently is. Just his mindset and mind frame was something that I can resemble to, with his constant wanting to do stuff and constant having success with doing stuff. And he truly was the epitome to me of a serial entrepreneur. And that's a person who's constantly creating things and being good at those different things. And I couldn't find a better person to work with, and I never heard back from them. But that doesn't mean anything to me, as I just had to go out and continue to push forward in the dreams and endeavors that I have. That would have been a golden opportunity for me, but at least I had the courage to send the man an email, or whoever I sent the email to. I know somebody read it, whether they read the first line or two or thought it was some sort of spam, or maybe they just deleted it. I took the time to write the email, and I put that out there into the atmosphere. And nothing really ever came of that situation, but more things have come of different situations later on in my life. And I'm appreciative for everything that's come along the way, but you have to have the courage sometimes to reach out to these mentors, even if you think they're out of your reach, because you wouldn't be surprised as to the mentors that people have along the way. And all it takes sometimes is just as simple as sending an email or going to visit a person. I have this habit of, I like to do certain things in person so I can get a feel of the environment. Like I was just shopping around for a place to do my taxes, and I use this one brand of people or a corporation to do my taxes, but I am particular about the environment that I go into. So I'll review that place. I'll go into there and I'll see how they reply to me as a customer just walking in, even though it's to make an appointment. If they're very attentive to my needs when I'm just making an appointment, they're going to be very attentive to my needs while I'm sitting there trying to handle some complicated financial tax situations. So I tend to use certain things and certain guidelines in my life to pick or make certain decisions, but that doesn't stop me ever from reaching out to people who I think aren't going to reach out back to me, because you never know. I always start with the highest person that I would love to work with, and then you end up working with who you work with, and there's nothing shameful about that. Maybe I'll try here within the next year to reach out to them and show them what I've developed, because now I'm have this platform that's been developed, and I'm 50 videos in. Eventually I'll be 150 videos in, and eventually somebody will have to start paying attention, and even if they don't, I'll put out enough videos to it will grab somebody's attention. And that's all you need in this life, is to get somebody's attention and have somebody follow you. And then that's how you start to create some sort of movement and create the momentum that you're looking for, specifically for me. But that's, a plan that I have to resonate with a couple of million people on this earth. And I believe if you can get, let's say 1 million people following you for some specific movement, then you've done something to change this world. Even if it's a smaller portion than that, I'm appreciative for every one person who I impact. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean 1 million people, but I would like, as a personal goal to have a difference in 1 million people's lives. That to me would mean a lot. So, and that's a goal that I'm trying to pursue along the way of mentoring. So, again, I appreciate you guys watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I believe I'm at 44 subscribers. I think it was at 45 yesterday. I may have lost one. So, but that's okay. There'll be more to come. A goal I have now as well is to average about 1 subscriber per video. Even though I put one up per day, I don't necessarily get 1 subscriber per day, but sometimes after you continue on, eventually I plan to have more subscribers than I do have videos. But for right now, it's vice versa. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these and listening to these, and I hope this video resonates with you. And if you take away one thing, it's find a mentor and reach out to people who have a similar passion as you, and who have had the success that you want to have. And don't be afraid. Don't think that people are out of your reach, and you never know who exactly will tell you yes or no when it comes to mentoring you. You would be surprised. So again, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.